Amo mure, fuego y machete. Hablo la verdad, no me calla, no me raja, no mude. Mira cómo voy, soy la voz de las que never had a choice. Gotta get it off mi pecho, dale luz a lo que es nuestro, share the truth.
My name is Allegra Havana, and I am a entrepreneur. I'm a mother. I'm a fitness instructor, and I'm a woman who has been on a healing journey for the last 10 years. So I'm a childhood trauma survivor, and I'm also a domestic violence survivor and narcissistic abuse survivor. Because of those things that I went through, I came into this space that taking care of myself and showing myself love and showing my self-care was important. And out of that darkness in my life came the concept for Havana's 13, which is a movement. It's a movement towards love, and that love starts with self. So that's my philosophy anyway, that we can't love another person unless we love ourselves. So Havana's 13, it's more than just selling products. There's many different things that I do with Havana's 13. I sponsor community events that promote wellness, health events. I'm also a speaker, so I will get on stages and I talk to women about the abuse that I have gone through and ways that they can help themselves come back from that. My take is that healing isn't linear. It's not something that we do like taking a pill and all of a sudden we're okay. Crystals have been a big part of my healing journey. I feel like crystals are something that are sometimes not very well known about and sometimes misjudged with people using them for different things. I'm here to tell you these are things that have helped me. And if it works for you, I'm grateful that it did. I've been using crystals for about 20 years. There were times that I have slept with crystals beside my bed. Nights that I was crying, that I couldn't stop crying, and crystals came to my rescue and helped me out with that. Now, sometimes people think of crystals like, wow, how can a crystal really help you? So we're gonna go ahead and start off with this. So self-care to me is not indulgence, it's alignment. When you pair intention with crystal energy, you create daily rituals that support emotional balance, protection, clarity, and self-love. Healing jewelry allows you to carry that intention throughout your day. So whenever I'm using my crystals, I always have a reason that I'm using them for, and I have several different ones. And the one that you will always see me with, I'm an empath, so this is one of the crystals that has been with me for the longest time. This is my go-to. This is my everyday use. This is black tourmaline. I just want to show you that because today I have on a selenite and I have on a moonstone bracelet. So these are all handmade. These are all hand-wrapped products. And you can also find me on my website, havanas13.com, and these are going to be under premium pendants. The way that I feel about crystals is the way that I feel about everything related to self-care. It's really related to your intention with how you choose to use these. And I know sometimes crystals have received a bad rap from certain groups and populations, but for me, I believe that crystals were put here on this earth for us to use. Now, crystals you can use to wear. You can put them in your home. I have some in my car. There's specific places that I put crystals. And for me, crystals just provide an energy that I feel is like no other. And once you get to know them and you get to feel comfortable with them, when you don't have them, you kind of miss them. Crystals are natural elements that come from the earth. A true crystal has an organized grouping of unit cells that forms a unique lattice pattern called a crystal system. There are 6 lattice patterns that appear with healing crystals. So there's 6 different patterns that occur with crystals, and those patterns actually also have different properties to them as well. So not only are we dealing with the type of crystal, but the shape of crystal also is part of what the energy that the crystal is going to bring you. So paying attention to those is really important. Some of them have amber, obsidian, opal, and tektites. So the different crystal patterns that you can find on a crystal are hexagonal. You can kind of see the shape of that, how it has different stuff popping up on there, like it has a hexagonal shape. So that one is aragonite, and that one is going to have hexagonal shape. And that one is really good for grounding. Aragonite, I love to wear that when I'm feeling a little spacey, a little flighty. I feel like I need to be back into my flow and into my zone. That one is really great as well. They also have isometric, which have an interior cubic structure. And these crystals can amplify energies. Now, we're all energy, right? So those of you that are empaths can probably feel energy. You walk into a room and you can feel stuff immediately. I'm one of those that can. For me, my crystals are sort of an extension of my spiritual body. That's how I look at them. I look at them as something that I can use to my benefit. Like, for example, the one that, so I teach in a home, I teach in a nursing home and a rehabilitation center, and there's a lot of sickness in that center. So when I walk into the center, I feel the heaviness. I feel the, I feel that. I feel the whole energy, right? And when I get to these places, a lot of these people that I'm working with, they're not happy. They're sick. They don't feel well. They're in wheelchairs. They're not in the best of health, right? So when I don't wear something like black tourmaline or black obsidian or carry something like that with me, which is going to be this guy right here. I always talk about the dark stones because those for me are the most popular, what my body craves, what my spirit craves, because and it's all pretty much based on what stage you are in your life. But for me, I'm in a very protective stage. I'm in a very boundary setting stage, and I'm in a very stingy stage with my energy. So I'm always very careful about what I expose myself to energetically. And for me, this has been a lifesaver. So this guy right here is black tourmaline. And this crystal is one that you can wear on your neck like I have right now. And black tourmaline is really good for boundaries. It's really good to help you not pick up other people's energy if you are an empath. It's really good for spiritual protection. We all believe differently, but I do believe that spiritual attacks can happen. And for me, this guards me from those spiritual attacks. It's part of what I use. It's part of what I believe in. And I definitely notice that it works for me because when I don't have my tourmaline on and I go teach or I even go out to public somewhere, I can feel the difference in my energy and vibration. And usually when that happens, I have to do a little bit of a sage cleansing because I didn't wear my crystals. So crystals are really just all energy and vibration, and they all have their own special properties. So the real dark, dense crystals, those are going to be the ones that are going to be protective. And I'm going to read you a little bit a little bit more about black tourmaline because that's my favorite. And with my crystals, I only have a few at a time. These crystals are selected. I have vendors from all over that I select them from, and the actual crystal itself. And so there's a lot of time that's taken into making these pendants. It's not like I just choose something. There's a lot of intention behind it. So these guys help with psychic protection, protection against negativity, grounding. So if you're someone that tends to feel real flighty sometimes, feels like a little bit off balance maybe, these are really good ones for that. They're also great for stress release, cleansing, and sometimes when we have negative emotions, these also help so much. So here's a little quick practical tip on why you would use black tourmaline, right? So I already told you about the nursing home, why I use black tourmaline in the nursing home. But if you have an excessively negative individual in your life, whenever you position a piece of black tourmaline between you and that person, it acts as a buffer to your energy. So that's why I always wear my crystals on my heart chakra, because that to me is something that is very protective. And I always will wear them on this chakra right here. And we could go on and on about crystals, but like I'm going to use black tourmaline as an example. So the chakra that the black tourmaline is going to work on is your root chakra. So it's going to provide a lot of grounding. That's why it's so dense like that. The energy that it provides is it absorbs. So it's going to absorb anything. I look at it like kind of like a vacuum cleaner of negativity, if I'm being honest. I'm going to read you a little bit more about it. So in ancient times, magicians used black tourmaline to ward off demons. Along with absorbing negativity and providing protection, black tourmaline also helps keep you grounded and promotes self-confidence and can help purify environments where a lot of emotional negativity has occurred. So if there's toxic environments that you have to constantly be part of, and sometimes that happens because we work at a place that might have that, or we may live with someone that has that, I find these really helpful. And how many of you have ever had a crystal break on you? Has anyone had a crystal break? So usually when a piece of black tourmaline breaks, and I used to have a huge piece like this and it broke, and it was so cool because the time that it broke was such an instrumental time in my healing and my growth that that's how I know that this is true, what I'm about to read you. So if a black tourmaline piece breaks, it has become saturated with negativity and it's done. So once it breaks, let's get a new one. Let's replace it. The way that I get rid of my crystals is I return them back to the earth. So I'll take a broken crystal because once they're broken, they're really not, it's not working for you anymore. So once they break, I take mine out and I offer it back to the earth. So I will bury it in the earth, send it back to where it came from. And that's what I like to do. I say a blessing, I say a prayer, I say thank you for being with me the time that you were, for your guidance and your protection. And I go ahead and get rid of that. Now, these two combos, if you really, so if we're thinking about it, this guy is going to be like your regular package. This guy is going to be like your supreme. And isn't that one beautiful? This guy right here, now I haven't had a piece like this in a while, so if you like it, I suggest you let me know because it's really hard to get and it's absolutely amazing. But this piece pairs so well with this piece. And the reason why is because clear quartz, that's this guy right here. And you can kind of see the cool little lines inside of that. This one's really special because it has those lines inside of it. This guy is pretty clear for clear quartz. They don't come, I haven't seen them this clear in a while, but this guy actually works as an amplifier for anything else that you're wearing. So if you're wearing an aragonite, which I talked to you about before, this guy is going to come in and it's going to amplify the energy. I feel like there's a handful of stones that are really good if you're getting familiar with stones, and the clear quartz is definitely one of them. And the great thing about this book that I was telling you guys is that it also has prescriptions. Like if you have stress, it'll tell you what crystals to use for that. If you're dealing with rejection, it tells you which crystals to use for that as well. Let me go ahead and go to quartz here. Here we go. Clear quartz is actually an amplifier, and the chakra that it works on is going to be your crown chakra. So up here, this guy is really good to use with all crystals. So what you could, I love this because this is like my one of the magic tools that I use, right? We're in a magic session here, so let's talk magic. So this guy amplifies any crystal that you put it next to. It also amplifies any energy, so that's where you kind of have to get really clear about what your intentions are when you're wanting to work with crystals. And for me, the way that I got clear on that was like just kind of asking myself, okay, what is it that I'm struggling with today? What battles am I fighting today? And I'll give you a great example. Yesterday, I was in a session and I had to speak, and speaking is not my favorite thing to do. So I wore a certain crystal, which was a druzy quartz, and it was heart shaped. And for me, whenever I'm doing something, I always pair my crystal with my intention for the day. So I talked to you a little bit about the tourmaline, which is my kind of always go to when I'm at work stone, when I'm out in the public stone. But there are also other occasions that I ask myself, well, what do I feel like I need a crystal for today? Today I'm actually wearing selenite. Selenite is such a cool stone as well. This guy is clear. And I'll get into that in a second, but we're going to continue on quartz. So quartz is really good to pair with any other stone, and it acts like an amplifier. And this guy right here amplifies the properties of other crystals. It also creates the connection to the divine and higher consciousness, working through all conditions. It's a master healer. It's protection. It's cleansing and purification, amplifying energy and thought. So I feel like a clear quartz is really good for someone that has low energy, perhaps, someone that needs that extra. This is a really good stone for that. Someone that might have confusion because it also clarifies thoughts and beliefs. It's great for balancing the mind, body, and spirit, which also improves concentration. This is a self-cleansing crystal, by the way, and it can be used to cleanse other crystals. Now, crystal cleansing, that's a whole other class, but we can get into that. I have classes as well, so if you're interested, please add me on my link tree, and you'll see that on my Facebook. You can also use this to direct and amplify the energy of another stone by placing the flat end of the quartz at the crystal and the point away from it. So you'll basically kind of place it like this. So this guy is giving this guy energy. And yes, if you're wondering, can I pair this crystal with this crystal? Yes. Clear quartz is one of the only crystals, one of the few crystals, because there are several, that you can combine. What happens with crystals is if you have counteracting purposes for them, sometimes they'll confuse. They'll be way too confusing to use together. But these two are a beautiful pair. Now you can use these on two separate chains. What I like to do is I like to add the clear quartz to my current pendant right here inside your shirt so that no one knows you have them on. You can wear them out here. I happen to love the way they look, so I always wear them outside of whatever I'm wearing unless it doesn't match with my outfit for that day. But this is a really powerful pairing, and I wanted to bring that up because I feel like black tourmaline, clear quartz, those are some great beginner stones, especially if you're starting to work with crystals. And I feel like those are kind of like a crystal that can go with you through a lot of different phases in your life. So black tourmaline does work extremely well with clear quartz. Next one, if you know me, you know that I love rose quartz. Rose quartz, I do have bracelets available as well. So these are my bracelets. These are all handmade, hand-selected, genuine beads. This is another rose quartz right here. So the cool thing about crystals is they come in different shapes and sizes, and I love these ones because they kind of have like a heart shape. Now, rose quartz was so instrumental in me showing myself some love and getting back from everything that I had been through. There was a time that this is the crystal that I actually slept close to by my bed every single night, and I felt the energy of it. Rose quartz is a love crystal. So it's the crystal of love, and I know that we all can appreciate love in this room. If you're on a journey where you're just getting to know a little bit about crystals, I think this is an excellent beginner crystal. Rose quartz. I'm going to read you what the properties are for. This one is for your heart chakra. Rose quartz is for your heart chakra, and it's awesome that it also lays on your heart chakra. But this one helps with compassion. Now, when we think of compassion, we think of compassion to someone else. But this one is actually really good for compassion to yourself as well. So if you're a person that has a hard time showing yourself compassion and understanding, this is an excellent crystal to work with. This one helps with kindness, unconditional love, self love, emotional healing, joy, peace, and playfulness. So, just by talking about these two, I don't know about you guys, but I felt the energy in the room shift, right? From black tourmaline to rose quartz. They all have a very different vibe, and you can just kind of see that vibe in the crystal. Such a different look, such a different feel. One of them is dense, one of them is for your root chakra, and then we have this one. If they were songs, I think this one would show up like, ah, right? And this one would be more like, hey. So when we're thinking about it, that's just the best way that I can explain it. So this one, for me, I was in a place of a lot of heaviness. So this really helps lighten your spirit. It helps lighten your whole soul and just feel that, that high vibration, that love vibration. And for me, this is one that I always have. And whenever I feel like I need a little extra love, I always put on one of those. And you can combine crystals, like I can use this rose quartz crystal with this moonstone crystal and this selenite crystal. Now, the combos, those vary. That would be a whole other class in itself, but I really just want to talk about rose quartz. Like rose quartz, you can take this in times of, in hard times and times that you feel like you need that extra support. And you can put this underneath your pillow. You can sleep with this by you. But I'm just going to finish off with rose quartz, and then we're actually going to end with selenite because I have some fun selenite wands that we're going to play with. So the rose quartz crystal that I showed you, this guy right here, this one is really good when you're trying to heal love-based emotional upsets, such as the breakup of a relationship, betrayal, and especially the loss of a loved one. This is a calm, peaceful stone that can help you feel connected to others. That was one of my issues, is I had a hard time connecting with people because my heart chakra was shut down for a long time. So my rose quartz was just instrumental in helping me feel that connection to my loved ones and open up my heart again. And it also strengthens your sensation of joy. So that crystal is something that when you pair it with your clear quartz, it's an amazing result because you're just amplifying that energy. So you could even wear like a clear quartz pendant with a rose quartz bracelet, and those are a powerful combination as well. The cool thing about selenite, though, yes, it's a very cleansing stone. Selenite, there are certain stones that you cannot expose to water, and this is one of them because if you expose it to water, you will ruin it. So you cannot store it with other crystals either. This one's a very fragile stone, And because of that, you cannot expose it to water, salt, and you have to store this separately from other crystals. So, like this guy, I hang away from my other crystals. Like it can be around my other jewelry, but it can't touch my other crystals. So I always keep this guy separate. So this is another cleansing tool besides the smoke options. And this guy I just kind of take and I run around like this. But I never want to like store these together and put them in like a jewelry box or something like that. And I don't know how you store your crystals, but I always hang mine. If I'm in a hurry and I have to go somewhere, I'll put it in my jewelry box, but I always try to hang it up because for me, it's the same thing as we were talking about everything else, treating these guys with respect and care whenever we're dealing with them. This one is a primarily protective stone. It is also a stone that doesn't have to be cleansed because it doesn't absorb or store energy. This is one that doesn't absorb or store energy, and it serves as a cleansing stone for other crystals. So this is one of those really cool, unique, special ones. Like the ones that I'm showing you today are really kind of the ones that I would suggest if you need one and you're like, wow, I really want to get a crystal, but I don't really know which one to get. That's why I wanted to provide the different options and the different vibrations. And I know that as we were speaking, I know that you felt the vibration. Like this guy is very clean, very light, very purifying. Like I know you can feel that across the screen just by even looking at that. And it's amazing the different feel, right? And even if you look at me, I'm wearing all black, but this guy, it kind of stands out because of its pure light energy. It's such a refreshing addition to something that's dark like this. So even when I'm dressing, I take color combos into consideration. Like to lighten an outfit like this, I'm going to take something that has light energy like this. And these guys are always really good. So a quick way to remember things, and you can write this down if you want, but let's say you're browsing for a stone and you're like, wow, I don't really know which one I want to get. But we've learned three things today. The three things that we've learned is that the black stones, those are going to be your heavier stones. Those are your root chakra. It's not just specific to black tourmaline. It works with black obsidian, which I have as well. And I'm going to show you this piece because every single piece is different. This guy right here, that's kind of cute because it has like a heart shape. What I love about crystals is that they are just as unique as every single one of us. You're never going to find two that are alike, and I absolutely love that. So this piece right here is a black obsidian. Now, even though they have a few different traits, like why you'll use one versus the other, as you could see, and looking at them, comparing them, this one has a very different texture than this one, right? So different. So like I would use this one for something that wasn't as heavy energy as I would use this one. And your black stones are always going to be your protective stones, so color has a lot to do with it. So if you see a black crystal like this, these are going to be the guys that you want to use when you want to protect your energy. When you see a pink stone like this, now this goes for pink opal. I have a few of those on my website. This goes for rose quartz. These guys, and it's really cool once you learn because it's so congruent with the energy that they provide. Like these guys are the love crystals, so they're the pink crystals. So any pink crystals that you find, whether that's pink opal, morganite, I also have morganite right here. So I'm just going to show you a few different combos. Like this guy right here is morganite with rose quartz, and you could see they all have a different kind of, they have a little bit of difference. So this is combined with rose quartz, but they're all pink. So they all have the same vibration, the same purpose, which is going to be for self-love and compassion and healing. And then you go to your clear stones, which is like the rose quartz and the selenite And you can tell that these two guys are more alike than any of the others that we went over today. And the reason why is because they're the clear. The white ones are the purifying ones. They're the ones that are going to provide that clean, light energy that we all kind of talked about just a second ago with selenite. So that's kind of a quick cheat tip that I wanted to leave you guys with before we conclude. Because then usually when you're selecting a crystal, that's just the way that you do it, is kind of like, what is it that's catching your eye, right? So which one catches your eye? And usually that's an indication that your spirit is telling you, hey, I really like that crystal. I would like to know more about what it does. So that's great that you actually went through and saw those. So fluorite, this is really good for balancing and stabilizing energies, body, mind, and spirit connection, facilitating intuition and communication with higher planes, calming, enhancing creativity, harmonizing, and connection to divine. Now, this one's really cool that you can combine it with amethyst. And I'm so bad because I just got these in and I don't have them on site. But these are some of my latest amethyst bracelets. These are grade A amethyst, which means that the quality of it is just phenomenal. It's heavier. Fluorite is really good to combine with clear quartz. It's great to combine with amethyst. And it's great to combine with sodalite. And I really just wanted to start with the basics, but I'm going to show you a few of, like, this guy is so special too. This is Mookaite. This is Mookaite, and I have plenty of pendants that you might not see anywhere else. And these other ones I consider my specialty pendants. So these are the ones that are going to have the special prescription. Like when we went over the fluorite, you saw that a lot of that kind of had extra special qualities and a lot more different qualities. But what I love about crystals is that the possibilities are limitless. Like, you can, I absolutely love that you can match them to whatever it is that your spirit, that your body, that your soul is asking for that day. Fuego y machetes, hablo la verdad, no me calla, no me raja, no mude. Mira cómo voy, soy la voz de las que never had a choice. Gotta get it off mi pecho, dale luz a lo que es nuestro, share the truth. This is your prosperity.